Module 4, Topic F review. So the first thing here is that you see it's 8/3 times 1. So 8/3 times some number is 1 will get me to this. Well, 8 times what is 40? 8 times 5 is 40. And 3 times 5 is 15. And 5/5 is the same thing as 1. Next, 2/6 times what? So 2 times what will get me to 8. And the answer is 4. And 6 times what will get me to 24? That's 4. This whole thing right here equals 1, and that would be my answer. Now we're going to write fractions as equivalent decimals. We need to make sure that our fractions are all out of 10, 100, or 1000. That makes it easier to turn them into decimals. So for this very first one, I see that I can change it to a 10. So I did times 2. So I have to do times 2 up here. And I end up with 2/10, which as a decimal is 2/10. Next, I have 2/4. If I do 4 times 25, I can get to 100, which is one of my numbers that I need. So if I did times 25 on the bottom, I need to do times 25 on the top, and I would end up with 50, and my decimal would be 50 hundredths. Next, once again, we have 25. This time we're going to say times 4 to get to 100 because there's 4 quarters in a dollar, so we're going to have to do times 4 for both. And we end up with 20 100ths. And the decimal looks like this, 20 100ths. Next, we have 20 in the denominator. It's another number that I can change to 100 if I do times 5. So I'm going to make sure that I do times 5 in the numerator and the denominator. And I end up with 15 hundredths. And when we do that, this is 15 hundredths. Next, 1/2. A lot of you know that's 50 cents, so you already know the decimal, but if not, you turn it into something out of 10. We did times 5, and we do times 5, and we end up with 5/10, which equals 5/10. Once again, we're working with 5, so we can go to 10, which is times 2. And when we do that, we end up with 6/10. And we end up with 6/10. This one does not need to be changed at all. It's already 6/10, so we can just make it 6/10. And then over here, we want to make it out of 100, so because it doesn't go evenly into 10, so we go out of 25 times 25, and we end up with 25 hundredths. And 25 hundredths as a decimal looks like that. Next, we have to fill in the blank to make the number sentence true, and then explain how you know. So this is greater than, so I need a fraction that's greater than 1. To be greater than 1, I could do 5/4, 6/4, 7/4, 8/4, 9/4, any of that would work. So if I needed to do an explanation, I come right over here, and I can just write fraction should be greater than 1. And now over here, we look again, and when we look at it this time it's less than, so it should be less than 1. So to make a fraction less than 1, I'm going to choose 6/7. It could be 5/7, 4/7, 3/7. They're all less than 1. So once again, we're going to write an explanation. But this time, I'm just going to copy this down here. But I'm going to change it that it should be less than 1. So those are my explanations as I'm going along, explaining why I picked what I picked. So down here, we have these ones are equal. So that means I have to equal 1. So 4 over 4 and 5 over 5. And when we go to do this, we should say that the fraction should be equal to 1. And down here again, fraction should be equal to 1. And on the very last one, we see that we have greater than, so we need something that's greater than 1. To make it greater than 1, the numerator has to be bigger than the denominator. I'm going to choose 7. You could do 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, or 1. Any of those would work. And our explanation is that the fraction should be greater than 1. Next page. We have these 3 numbers here, and we need to see which one goes on the which blank line. So in this case, we see a less than symbol. So I need to see which one of these is less than 1, and I see that it's this one. So I'm just going to write it on the line. We have 0 and 787 thousandths. This one now is equal, so which one is equal to 1? I see that right here. So I use that right up. And then greater than symbol. This one is greater than 1, so I fill that one in. Now down here, it says, will the product of this 55 and 76 hundredths times 999 thousandths be greater than or less than this original number? So this is our scaling factor. That scaling factor is less than 1. So I know that it will be less than 55 and 76 hundredths. Now without calculating, how do I know? The scaling factor is less than 1. And that is our review for our topic F quiz.